Maple Ridge was a quiet town, where gossip lived longer than memories and reputations meant more than truth. At its heart stood a regal, Victorian-style mansion wrapped in climbing ivy and secrets. It belonged to the Bradleys, a family whose name was stitched into every town plaque, every school building, and every whispered scandal. Among the Bradleys was Evelyn, a woman of grace and sharp wit, with dark curls that fell like ink and eyes that saw too much. She had grown up in that mansion, under the heavy gaze of tradition and expectations. Her marriage to Marcus Bradley, the heir to the Bradley construction empire, had been arranged like a chess match. At first, it had felt like a fairy tale. Marcus was handsome, ambitious, and endlessly persuasive. He made Evelyn feel like the center of the universe. For a while. But time wears away illusions. By their 10th anniversary, the warmth had gone cold. Evelyn spent her days managing charity work and historical renovations, projects she poured herself into to escape the silence at home. Marcus spent his days in boardrooms and his nights, elsewhere. Evelyn knew he was cheating. What she didn't know was with whom. The first real crack came in the form of a red scarf. It had been left in Marcus's study. Soft silk, smelling faintly of gardenias. It wasn't hers. Then came the phone calls. Late-night whispers when Marcus thought she was asleep. Trips that ran longer than scheduled. Empty perfume bottles tucked into drawers. Evelyn decided not to confront him immediately. She had learned over the years that Marcus could twist words like vines. Instead, she began to document. She installed a tiny camera in the study. She monitored his texts, cloned his emails. And then, she saw it. Not just an affair. A full-blown relationship. With her younger sister, Clara. Clara, the golden child. The one who had always lived in Evelyn's shadow, or so everyone thought. Clara, who used to braid Evelyn's hair when they were kids. Clara, who had cried at Evelyn's wedding and toasted her happiness. Betrayal doesn't always arrive in the shape of an enemy. Sometimes, it wears your blood. Evelyn was not a woman who cried in corners. She was a woman who studied human behavior, who planned gala events with military precision, who knew that silence could be louder than screams. She devised a plan. It began with charm. She reached out to Clara with warmth, suggesting they reconnect. Clara, hesitant at first, gave in. She missed the attention. Evelyn invited her to events, shared wine over sisterly chats, even brought up old childhood memories. Meanwhile, Evelyn fed her false stories. That she was planning to leave Marcus. That she was emotionally distant. That she wanted Clara to help manage the estate. Clara fell for it. And Evelyn waited. The plan grew over weeks. Evelyn even hired a private investigator to dig deeper into Marcus's financial dealings, discovering that he'd been funneling money into offshore accounts, planning to leave her with nothing. Clara was complicit. Emails confirmed it. They weren't just betraying her heart, they were plotting to erase her existence. But Evelyn had one weapon neither of them anticipated: patience. She contacted a lawyer, one who specialized in high-profile divorce settlements and reputational defense. Together, they built a case quietly, strategically. Evelyn wasn't aiming for mere heartbreak. She wanted a collapse. One evening, Evelyn invited Clara and Marcus to a private party at the estate, a small affair, just family and a few trusted friends. The theme: rebirth. She decorated the mansion in whites and golds, hired a string quartet, served Clara's favorite wine. She even played the perfect hostess, laughing easily, holding Marcus's arm, thanking Clara for all her recent help with renovations. Then she made the announcement. She clinked her glass and smiled. "I have a gift," she said, "for two people who have truly impacted my life." Gasps followed as the lights dimmed. A projection flickered to life. Photos, screenshots, videos. Marcus and Clara, caught in every intimate moment. Kissing in the study, whispering at hotels, Clara trying on Evelyn's necklace while lying in her bed. But it wasn't just the affair. Evelyn revealed documents, financial records showing Marcus's betrayal, Clara's involvement. A recorded phone call between them, laughing about how clueless Evelyn was. Silence fell like a guillotine. Evelyn turned to face the crowd. "Betrayal," she said, "is a poison. But knowing the truth? That's the antidote." Clara fled. Marcus stood frozen, pale as ash. The press picked up the story within hours. Evelyn had tipped them off. But that night wasn't the end. It was the beginning. Marcus's company collapsed. Investors fled. Clara left town, her name smeared across social media. Evelyn filed for divorce. She retained the mansion, the family name, and the public's sympathy. But more than anything, she found clarity. Her nights were no longer sleepless. She began jogging in the mornings, rediscovered painting, and adopted a rescue dog named Lyra. She repainted the entire mansion, tearing down Marcus's office and turning it into a reading nook with sunlit windows and plush chairs. But her healing wasn't in revenge, it was in reinvention. She started a local foundation, Fractured Vows, dedicated to helping women uncover emotional manipulation, navigate betrayal, and reclaim their narratives. The foundation gained national attention within months. Evelyn was invited to speak on talk shows, podcasts, and even TEDx. She began writing. Her memoir, The Quiet Knife, became a bestseller. It was raw, lyrical, and brutally honest. Readers resonated with her vulnerability and strength. She didn't play the victim. She told the story of a woman who refused to be erased. She traveled, lectured, even found companionship, not in romance, but in purpose. Though eventually, she met Daniel, an art curator from Seattle. A quiet man with kind eyes who never asked her to shrink herself. They began as friends. The rest unfolded slowly, with trust earned, not given. And on the anniversary of her confrontation, she hosted a candlelit vigil, not for the death of her marriage, but for the rebirth of her self-worth. Women came from all over, lighting candles, sharing stories, and standing in quiet solidarity beneath the stars. That night, Evelyn stood on the balcony of her home, Lyra curled at her feet, Daniel beside her, and whispered, "I found me."